We have been listening to various other members of the public, including politicians, who have all memorialized Pope Francis. Nomvula Mokonyane describing him as an ally of Africa. Take a listen.
Quite a very solemn occasion here. It's all about really just celebrating the legacy of the late Pope Francis. A man really has been seen as a champion of peace, humility, but also the Pope of the poor, coming from the global south as well, a Pope of so many faith as well. And also we do know that a very high-level delegation from the African National Congress is part of the proceedings here in the Cathedral. And joining us now is a first DSG of the ANC. Ma'am, thank you so much indeed for your time. Maybe just first and foremost, a very somber occasion, but also celebrating the legacy of Pope Francis, coming from Global South, championing a very good cause, and really just changing the status quo of the Catholic Church. Just your thoughts at this particular point in time.
Firstly, we want to convey our sincere condolences to his family. Many of us sometimes forget that he's also born of his mom and child, a product of the Italian migrants. We also agree this is a somber moment, but also a time to reflect on what Pope Francis stood for, the issues of social justice, the issues of humanity, the issues of being tolerant to diversity, as well as the choice of individuals. Very, very strong on saying thou shalt not judge, and the unity of the faithful across religious lines. In this crisis that the world finds itself, you needed a Francis for another day. But who are we to stand against the will of the Lord? And we wish him eternal rest.
Ms. Mokonyane, we know that the Pope was quite vocal about so many global issues. I mean, you look at the situation in the DRC, the escalation now of hostilities in South Sudan, but also, most importantly, one of his last words during the Easter service around the current situation in the Middle East. We know that South Africa went to the ICJ supporting that particular cause for a long-lasting peace in that part of the world.
We've lost an ally for the cause of the people of Palestine. Right in his deathbed, he would call the people of Palestine, the Christians in Palestine, he would call for peace. And we do believe that this is a cause that we must never actually stop pursuing, in his honor, in his memory, and that his spirit must give us more courage, that we continue. We know that it comes with a price, but it is the price that we must sacrifice ourselves for, just as we have seen how Pope Francis passed on Easter Monday, post a 40 days of Lent in the Catholic faith, and then thereafter he passes on. We need also to be that committed that we will only submit once Palestine is free.
Before we let you go, ma'am, obviously these are very tough times. The geopolitical tensions, so much is happening, and quite a very important moment as well, where we had His Holiness really being this champion. I mean, others, they say he was so stubborn. The doctors said to him, he must rest, but he went to the prison to wash the feet of the inmates. Really speaking about a rich legacy that he's really leaving behind.
Somebody who said the shepherd must actually have the same smell as his sheep. The poor were not people at a distance from Pope Francis, the destitute, how he transformed the Vatican itself and utilized the facilities for those who need help and for those who need to be comforted and for those who are homeless. The man who also was very committed towards issues of environment and climate change, because he also believed that we need to live in an environment that is clean, because cleanliness is next to godliness, and that as the human race, we need to be careful of destroying what we have found quite habitable for all species. This is but a man of many stories yet to be told. The letters that he has written, the messages that he has written. But this is a man who even knew about the fire here in Johannesburg, this Usindiso building. He communicated because he was worried about the homeless and the destitute. This is the man who raised a concern with the July unrest in KwaZulu-Natal. This is a man who was not just about our Father who art in heaven. This was a man who was saying, love thy neighbor as you love thyself, and that the church is not a church of those that are perfect. He embraced the imperfect. And I think that's part of what is important. Those that are perceived to be imperfect, for him, those were the most important people that Pope Francis related to, and he also preached and prayed for.
Thank you so much indeed for your time, ma'am. Of course, that's the ANC's first Deputy Secretary General, Ms. Mokonyane, reflecting about the life and times of Pope Francis. A very poignant moment here in the Cathedral in central Johannesburg, as the Catholic community here in South Africa as well is paying its last respect to the late Pope. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.